It takes me back to nearly 40 years when I first came into this Prashanti Nilayam campus with my parents and my sisters. That day was truly, I think, the most momentous day because that's when Swami brought me on this path and led me through my studies, through my career to where I stand before you all today. Today's convocation address actually took me back to more than 40 years. It was in 75, I think, when as a school child, both my sister, me, and we had an older sister and my parents, we came to Whitefield. It was my father who had heard of Swami, who had got the message of the good deeds that Swami is doing, and he's getting people into his fold, and he brought us here for Swami's darshan to Whitefield.
I was studying in Bangalore at that time. I was doing my graduation, and he had read a lot of books on Swami. So once we were in Bangalore, he wanted us to have first time darshan of Swami.
And I think Whitefield, that first darshan that we had sitting under the banyan tree.
Yes, the Sairam shed.
Yes, I think that is one scene which will never go out from your memory. And since then, we then came to...
Not only the scene, the first time he came in front of us, I felt a current just going inside, and tears came into my eyes. And after that, every time Swami came in front of me, I always had tears in my eyes, always.
So you don't know what happened. Something within just churned.
Yeah.
It's just like that. It's there every time. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people experience that. And then I think it was in 78 that we came to Prashanti for the first time. Again, the family, and we had some friends who came along. And the Prashanti of that time, everyone remembers the sand that you had.
Yes.
And
the big circle.
Big circle there. And there used to hardly be 3 rows of people sitting there.
Couple of 100 people would be there.
Trees, arches.
Yeah.
And even in those 3 rows, we always wanted to be right in the front, right in the corner, so that you could touch Swami's feet when he passed by. And then in the mandir, we would sit where you have, and there again, we would always want to sit near the aisle because that's where Swami used to walk up and down.
And that experience I can never forget. And that bhajan used to be there every time, Sai Avatara. Sai Avatara, I still remember. And Swami would be walking, doing this in that aisle. And I can never forget that even now. It's my favorite bhajan.
You saw Swami for the first time in 75, and then 78, that from then itself you were like pining for Swami, because you said, you want to sit in the front. So something had happened, some connect had established.
So between 75 and 78, we had then started attending bhajans. Wherever we were, we would go for bhajans. There were small centers in people's houses. So we had already started getting into it. We started doing the aarti at home. So all that had started.
Already taken
place.
He was part of the shrine.
Absolutely. But it's just that we couldn't come physically here because of there was no YouTube at that time. There was no internet at that time that you could get to see Swami. You had to physically come to do that. And after that, we kept coming on and off. For some years in between, we could not
come. In fact,
come.
in 78 when we came, I recall even my dog came along. And even he stayed in the South Block with us. S1, we all stayed and we had rooms there. And he was also very blessed because he would not bark inside the ashram at all. And my father would go for the Prabhat Pheri in the morning. And that time there used to be 2 Prabhat Pheris, and one day in one of the Prabhat Pheris he got invited for inauguration of a mosque.
The mosque which is there in the...
We built the mosque.
In the village?
In the village.
Yes, we were there for the inauguration.
So there was a Muslim Prabhat Pheri, and there they invited my father for it. So he took all of us. We were 2-3 families, and we were the only women there because it was actually for men. And Swami came there, and we were the only outsiders other than the villagers there. And my mother took pictures with a black and white camera.
And those were taken from our cameras, and Swami actually posed for it. So I think after that, that's really what I said. Once you get onto that journey, then every step that you take, it's you don't have to really be told that this is a guide. It's a guidance that comes. Swami's discourses, the values, and we
Because
have
even at home, we were only discussing that. You know, what happens is that when you start imbibing things, so the discussions at home also, because the entire family is onto the same platform. So once the whole family is on the same page, then automatically those teachings, someone is reading aloud, someone is attending bhajan and singing the bhajan. So my sister, elder sister, who we lost a couple of years back, she was a singer. So she would sing Swami's bhajan so beautifully. My mother used to sing very beautifully. So there was bhajans in the house. So that environment was automatically
very
charged.
self-suffused.
It was charged. Yeah, it was charged with.
But I think those values which come in, of course, we were never fortunate to really be in Swami's education system. We had already done our education, and I was passing out of school, and as she said, she was passing out of college. But I think those values that came from the teachings that Swami gave and coming from home, they really play such an important role. And that's also what I said this morning, that when you come out into the large world, you realize that the world is not as you imagine it sitting here. You know, this is such a protected environment where you have all the good values being taught day in and day out, and you meet everyone with good values. The moment you go out, you realize you're a misfit there. You're the only person there in that large ecosystem. There may not be too many people with those values. But then that's when the teachings actually help.
So we were lucky that our parents also were very principled people. You know, my father and mother both had very strong principles, and somehow they got endorsed by Swami's teachings when we came into the fold. So they could come to us easily, you know, and it was a good journey, or it's still continuing. If you've decided you're never going to tell a lie, and you're always going to speak the truth, come whatever consequences may happen. So at some stages you may have thought, I mean, after that it's a part of your system.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
It's a part of your system. So then it doesn't let you down anywhere. Or sometimes you've had we have, she in her own space, I in my space, we've had awkward positions where at the board level I've had to take a stand on certain things which I felt was not correct. So I mean, that's something which you know is not correct, but later on they come back to you and say you were right. You were right.
You have at least the satisfaction.
Yes, that you have done that. And I think whenever, and at least I think we've all failed it. I'm sure you all have, and each one who has this devotion in Swami, and you move on. Whenever there is a difficulty, whenever there's a hurdle, you just have to even pray internally. You don't have to actually go and say that. Just have to say, guide me, Swami, you help me to do. And you actually do
I also
find the
experienced
decision.
this in many decisions, you know, when it was going a different way, and I wanted it to go a different way, and I just said, Swami, just bail me out of this, you know. And there, certainly the things changed, and
I think perhaps there are many instances like that in your life.
So many,
I don't know
absolutely.
if there's anything that you can share.
But they're all in your official,
So day-to-day working.
But many times when you're taking hard decisions, because when you sort of rise in your career, there are points when you have to take very hard decisions. And at that point of time, you have to decide, what is correct, what is wrong. And
Swami shows the way.
Swami has always shown the way in that.
Once you're walking on the path of truth, Swami will show
You know,
the
he
way.
has held the hand and taken you further.
And many times you can actually feel a force with you,
Wow.
which is, obviously invisible to the world, but you know that force is there.
Or sometimes a dream
Yes.
comes, like you've been totally immersed in a thought and you really don't know what to do. How do I handle this situation? It's a very, very sensitive situation. And somewhere in the dream you get a solution for it. So it's all Swami doing it, But yes, your prayer has to be continuous to Swami.
There's just one thing that you have to do, and this is what I've learned into this whole system, is you have to surrender yourself completely. You don't have to question God in each point and say, why has this happened? We do that. We are human beings. We do question that. But if you surrender yourself totally and say, whatever path I'm shown, wherever I go, will be in my interest, will be something which God has destined for me to happen and will be good. Once you surrender yourself completely, Swami takes care.
I recall we had a friend who initial years, and I still remember when I was questioning, will this happen like this? Will this? So she had told me, never limit Swami. And that phrase has stuck on to me, that never limit Swami. Swami can do anything. So when Swami can do anything and we are in safe hands, where's the worry? And I experienced it so many times. I remember once I had come to Bangalore for a meeting. It was a meeting, our IRU with the unions. So for 2 days we were struggling day in and day out to sign some kind of a MOU with them. So once it got over and I had a flight the next day at 3 o'clock. So now I was praying to Swami. I was reading a book of Swami. I was staying in a Ashoka hotel. Way back, this is somewhere in 92, 93. So I prayed hard. I want to do darshan. Swami, I'm so nearby. Now, how do I do darshan? Today, I can come alone in a taxi. But that time, I was much younger. And I don't think my parents would allow me to come from Bangalore here. Buses, we were not so used to. So I was literally praying to Swami, literally praying to him. Swami, I want to do darshan. How to do it, I have a flight at 3 o'clock tomorrow. And in the night, at about 9:30, one of the persons known to her, he and his wife visited me in the hotel. And they said, we are going to Parthi tomorrow morning. You want to come?
Wow.
I couldn't believe it, I said, yeah, but we will drop you back to the hotel and you can catch your flight.
Beautiful.
And we left at 4 o'clock in the morning. We came to Parthi. I had lovely darshan of Swami. And when I was sitting in the queue in the front on this side where the women sit, and Swami was in the veranda, and I kept praying that Swami, I've come all the way, you brought me here, at least pass in front of me. Because darshan was on when we reached, And the moment I said that, suddenly he came down from where the wheelchairs go, and he came in front of me, gave me darshan, threw lots of toffees and sweets, and we got so many of them. So you see, we got it.
And otherwise also, if you put in a lot of, every human being has desires. So we say, okay, we want this from Swami, we want that from Swami. But if you don't limit it, Swami gives you limitless. So sometimes when you put in a desire, you're actually limiting Swami. If he's only wanting that, he probably must have planned so much more than
he must have
that way.
planned
But Swami has given so much that one doesn't need to ask Swami to give us that. It's only time to time support in what you're doing and show us the right path. Otherwise, everything Swami has given, so there's really nothing that one can. As long as he is with us, all that we can ask is that keep us always in your fold and keep your hand on our heads. Then we have everything.
I think that's the main prayer.
Biggest wealth that we can have is this, that Swami should be with us always.
His love is the greatest wealth.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Going back to your moments with Swami, so from the 78 onwards, you kept coming to Prashanti. I mean, the house was always charged with Sai love. And so you came in the 80s, you came in the 90s. Any moments that you can share about how it was seeing Swami during
94 when we came, Kulwantrai Hall was being built at that time.
Yes, yeah,
that was the
94,
time when it was being built, isn't
Yes,
it? And I think that time Swami was in Whitefield.
Yeah, because of the construction, Swami was in Whitefield.
Construction is Whitefield, and we came here because we were expecting Swami to be here. And then we were here and Swami was not here. And then they kept saying that Swami may come tomorrow, Swami may come. And then suddenly one day in the morning we were told Swami is coming.
My father was a firm believer of Swami, and he was so sure that he's brought his family here, Swami will not disappoint us. He said, I am very sure Swami is going to come. We are going to stay here, we will not go to Whitefield, he will come. And suddenly one day he came.
And one day, suddenly in the morning when we woke up, we were, I think at that time in the West Block, if I remember correctly. And we woke up and we were told Swami is going to come today. And the whole ashram had been decorated. And I still remember Sai Geeta came in the procession. Swami was brought in a procession.
Swami's red car drove into Sai Kulwant Hall,
And
it came into the hall itself.
And it was like, I think he was away from here for quite some time. And we were here to witness that welcome because we are not always here. I mean, we only used to come for short bills. So it was such a wonderful feeling. And that image of Swami coming in, it was, like procession and coming in, that was something which was absolutely wonderful.
It's almost like you came and Swami came just for
Absolutely.
you.
We felt that.
We actually felt that.
We actually felt that. Yes.
And then, of course, in 99, Swami came to Delhi. When we had the foundation of the International Science Center. And we were all there in Delhi. And in fact, the Science Center was very close to where we used to live. It was just behind our house. That whole area where we were living had actually been converted into a Prashanti campus because you had the devotees coming in from all around North India. And they pitched tents over there, and early morning at 4 o'clock the Omkara used to start, and Delhi had never witnessed anything like that. I mean, it was just the people of Delhi, they were just taken aback. And all of us who were in Swami's fold were obviously so excited. And the whole of Delhi, when, each time we used to go to office or to work, in between, of course, those days we were off work, we were totally doing seva and with Swami. There was just one thing which everyone used to say: who are these boys with the blue scarves? They didn't know what Sevadals were. But the Delhi public
Swami came after a long time to Delhi, actually.
And the Delhi public was amazed with the...
They were controlling the traffic.
They were controlling
everything, and it went very, very smoothly.
They left such a wonderful impression on the Delhi people, the Sevadals, the boys. So it was really wonderful. And I think that time Swami was there for about 4 days.
We got very good darshan.
Excellent. That was the seva that we did. And
So you did seva?
yes.
We were in security, yeah.
you were doing seva?
Both were in security. My older sister was singing and my mother was in the kitchen.
She was in the kitchen.
So we all did
We had
seva.
wonderful seva that we could do at that time. We've also done seva in
And he blessed my
Prashanti.
mother a lot during that trip. He really blessed her. And she was very happy. So that was a very, very
That
good
was a very
experience.
memorable trip.
Yeah, that was.
And I think, as you mentioned, even it was a very historic trip, isn't
Very
it?
historic. After so many years.
We've done
Swami
seva here also.
Yes,
in
yeah, you should
Prashanti.
talk about that. That's what you just mentioned.
So that was wonderful. I mean, we couldn't come very often, but not easy to get off work. But we did come a couple of years
So you worked as a Sevadal in
as a
Prashanti?
Sevadal in
we as a
Prashanti.
10 days, 15 days?
15 days.
15 days.
50. Once we did for 15,
One-
but
one-
otherwise 7 days.
7
Those
days,
days you were allowed to do 7 days,
days,
because it wasn't easy to come out, and security
So my
was
mother
mainly-
used to also come with us. She also used to do seva.
Wow.
So we were all in security.
So security, sometimes in the block, sometimes in the cloakroom,
Cloakroom.
sometimes near the mandir.
Oh
So
my
that was...
I don't think students, I don't think any of the students have any idea that the chief guest of the convocation was actually a Sevadal. And yes,
But I think we are all sevadals.
true.
You always would be
And
Sevadal.
if we are true devotees of Swami, then we all have to be sevadals.
Yes.
Because unless and until we accept that position of ours, we can't get everything from Swami.
Absolutely.
And that's when you actually learn the true values of this whole system, this organization. You have to really, be a part of this whole system to feel it. And it's true that those days were wonderful. I mean, as you
But
go
even
on.
now, Swami walks with us at every step. At every step, you can feel that he is with us.
And the last visit that Swami had to Delhi
Yes.
was in 2010. And I think all of us in Delhi totally cherished that memory. He was there for many days when he came in 2010.
Yes.
And of course, the wonderful darshan we had was a different matter. But I think the whole of Delhi got charged with that. And even now, when you go into the Science Center, you can still feel the vibrations of Swami there.
The Science Center reminds me that in 2016 when I was retiring, so any person who retires after so much of hard work and you've so much of energy, there's always one feeling inside you that today you're in service, what will happen tomorrow? What am I going to do? How am I going to keep myself busy? And it was I retired on the 30th of June. And on 30th of June, I got a message that I have been selected to be on the board of the Sai International Center. So that was the first assignment which Swami gave me.
After
that, I'm doing many other things. But the fact is, that my first assignment post-retirement came to me from Swami directly.
Wow. You always wanted to serve. At heart, always a Sevadal.
Absolutely.
But you see, so the moment that came, I couldn't believe it, and I saw that message on my mobile. I said, this is Swami directly blessing me and saying, see, you are going to be with me and the first assignment is mine.
So I think one message to all, especially the students, I'm sure the others would mind, is any hardship you get, never lose faith. Because it's that faith which will take you along, and it's not going to be an absolute smooth journey. There is no journey that is smooth. There have to be ups and downs. There has to be a dark spell. There has to be a bright spell. But if you accept it, saying that whatever Swami is doing for me, there has to be something good in it. Even if something wrong happens, you know that there has to be some reason why that's happened. I think if you keep in mind, you will be able to sail through. We are human beings. We are not superhuman beings. There are emotional feelings. There are times when you are upset with yourself. You are troubled with all the grief that you may have. But I think what helps you to come out of that
The Swami holds the hand.
Yes.
Is this,
Then
If you have
feel
faith,
through
Swami,
his energy.
absolutely.
Yes, he gives the energy at that
So-
point of
And you have
time.
interacted with the students in the Anandpur campus. That's what I heard. So, any memories of that? How was it interacting with the Anandpur?
It was just
wonderful,
lovely.
wonderful.
The girls themselves are so charged with energy, and they are so disciplined, and they were so enthusiastic and very intelligent. And I enjoyed the 1.5 days when I had my various sessions with them in the field of management, and it was very, very enjoyable. The campus itself, the guest house over there was full of vibrations of Swami, and I can never forget the hospitality of the staff and the faculty there. And it was a very good experience. I look forward to going there again.
Yeah, that's wonderful. In fact, I would really want to go there. I did promise the director today that next time maybe we'll first go to Anandpur and then come to Parthi. But it's wonderful to interact with them. And I mean, it's not just that I said I was very happy to see women passing out. I truly, truly felt that they have so much of potential. And it was, you could see the lovely charged faces even today when you saw them. All the girls brightly smiling. Not to say that the boys were not. They were also equally charged, but it was very nice to see.
It's such a heartening feeling to see someone like you as the convocation chief guest. For all the girls, definitely it's a great moment to cherish. Yeah.
No, over the course of my career, and she would have the same experience, we had hundreds and thousands of people who worked under you. And when I see these children getting into society now and translating all the values they have learned, I feel how rich the organizations would be. Because truly, a lot of people, I would say about 80% of the people lack the values that you really need today. So these are the ones who are really required to go into the system and change that system itself, you know.
In fact, when the institute inauguration happened, Swami said that today I'm sowing the seeds.
Yes.
And Swami said, beautiful blossoms will
Absolutely.
grow and they will spread far and wide.
Absolutely.
But they are doing well.
They're
The
actually
students
doing
of Swami, everywhere you hear, all over the world, they're doing well. So now so many of them are passed out today. We really feel happy that they would be reaching places also. And if there are one or two people with values in a system, slowly the values change, you know. It makes a lot of difference.
No, I mean, that's really there, and that's the whole message I gave this morning, because you have to realize that you are the fruit of this wonderful tree, as you said, and this fruit has to spread all over. And if this fruit spreads all over, it will sow more seeds.
Yes.
You know, the fruit has seeds, so they would have seeds, and these seeds would be sown all over. And that's how it will not be just within the country, but globally everywhere. And only this is going to make a difference, because if these values do not go out,
Today, gradually, values are finishing in society. It's very unfortunate, you know. So these are the institutions which can now salvage the situation and bring back what we are losing so fast.
so each of them has a huge responsibility on this.
You know, when President Abdul Kalam ji came, he said, is value education possible in today's times at the university level? And he said, this institute has answered that in affirmative.
Absolutely. Very true. We don't have so many institutes which actually give this complete value-based education system. So it's wonderful, and I think each child who is there in this, and each person who comes into this fold, has to just remember how fortunate they are.
What I feel is that we are the richest in the world, that we honestly, we have had darshan of Swami, we have had his direct blessings. There are millions and millions of people who are not that fortunate. So with that blessing that we have had, I think this lifetime and many lifetimes to come, Swami has filled us with that.
Yes. And Swami used to say that even if you had just one moment with me,
Yes.
if you just relive that moment,
Absolutely.
I will recreate that moment for you.
Yeah.
He even once said, and I think that is what is happening.
Absolutely. So the fortune that we've had is, I mean, that's all the wealth that we've earned, I think, in life, of so many moments that we can keep recollecting, and probably, as she said, it'll take us through our life. I think we
must have
enough.
done some good in our previous lives to get this blessing from Swami in this
And the
life.
blessings of our parents.
Absolutely, absolutely. Parents, of course. I mean, Swami used them as the instrument to bring us into his fold. You know, Swami always uses an instrument, and our parents were our instruments to bring us
They
into
were also very, very devoted.
So, but yeah,
Both my mother and my father left this world looking at Swami. So They were both very devoted.
So I think each one of us who's in Swami's fold is really blessed, and we should value that as much as we can. And we hope more people come in and understand that more.
More people come to Prashant Nilayam.
Absolutely.
Get recharged here.
No, whether they come to Prashanti Nilayam or wherever they are,
They just get into that fold.
they should realize the value and the greatness, and it's like a captain steering the ship and just taking you to where your destination.
Yes,
If you have full faith in him.
absolutely. You should just give the steering to him.
Yes.
That's what we have
Absolutely.
done.
That's what I said. Just surrender
So
yourself to
then
him.
there is no worry. You see, otherwise, as human beings, we would always be worrying on something or the other. So when till now he has brought us here, future also he will take care of us.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
It was really a blessing to have you in Prashant Nilayam for the convocation, and also this special conversation for all Radio Silence.
Thank you for having us
Thank
with
you
you.
for having me.
I think Swami's grace is there that we are here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.